What's up, friends? Welcome back to 9 3/4. It's Carissa here, and I'm so happy to be bringing you today's reading. You guys have no idea how much fulfillment this brings me to do this, so thank you for being here. If you're coming on over from 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒔's channel, thank you so much for coming over. Welcome. If you feel like you like the vibes here, I would love it if you went ahead and subscribed. And to the current fam, thanks for being here as always, and let's get into this. As you can tell, this is a collaboration reading with the incredibly magical spiritualistic aka Colleen, and I absolutely love her. You guys already know. Over on 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒔's channel, she will be channeling messages from your inner light being. And over here, we're going to be channeling messages from your inner shadow being, aka your inner villain, okay? So whatever comes through, take only what resonates and leave the rest, as this is a general reading, you guys. And yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Also, please beware of scammers out there. I will never DM you to solicit you for a personal reading. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can do so by contacting the email dropped in the description box below and on the screen. And also, these are my only social media profiles, so that you guys know that's me. I'm working on a blue check mark. We'll see though. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. And without further ado, I have to preface this by saying you may or may not have messages in more than one pile. By all means, choose as many as you'd like. Don't forget to check out 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒔's reading, as you will definitely have messages there from your inner light being as well. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce these piles for you. And after the pile selection, I have a collective reading. So you can go ahead and listen to that as well. Before I get into pile 1, if you feel called to do so. So, starting off with the pile selection, we have pile 1 with Evil Queen. Pile 2, the Red Queen. And pile 3, Maleficent. So as usual, you guys can go ahead and pause the screen now to take all the time you need to choose a pile or piles you feel drawn to. If you feel so inclined to listen to the collective message right after this, I will drop that here as well. As timestamp it in case you want to skip it. And yeah, you guys, also I just want to point out, like, it doesn't matter what you identify as, we're all inclusive here. This is all about energy. And yes, I love you guys so much. Let's get into the collective reading. Hi friends, so with this collective reading, I'm just going to go ahead and dive right on in. We have acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. And you also have abundance. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. You also have, I forgive myself for shaming and rejecting the experience of imperfection. I choose to believe that my unique expression invites me to show up in ways that may challenge ideas of what is currently preferable in order to make room for something greater, the conformist acceptance, which is really interesting. I also have, I forgive myself for thinking I must look or act a certain way in order to be enough. I choose to believe that I am innately worthy, and when I allow every aspect of my being to be expressed without discrimination, I realize the extent of my brilliance, the martyr esteem. Okay, and you also have immune. The trigger statement is, I am not safe. True statement, I am secure. Fill any areas of energetic weakness with strength. You can walk easily knowing that you are safe and protected. Protective. And you also have this clove card here with presence. The trigger statement is, why did this happen to me? True statement, how did this happen for me? Know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead, and the audience is here for you. All right. Getting into this collective message from your inner shadow being. your inner villain. You need to know that you are more than enough and you are more than worthy of the things that you want to attain. That abundance out there that you're trying to achieve or wanting for yourself to elevate and ascend in whatever way, whether this is in the physical, in the spiritual, mental, emotional, however it applies, this is about you accepting who you are for all of yourself, loving the good and the bad. Without light, without shadow, we cannot have light, and vice versa. It's all about balancing our inner selves and finding that, I guess, equilibrium is the word that's coming to mind, in who we are, and knowing that we don't need to do anything or be anything other than ourselves to have love, to have happiness and achieve that. It's no matter of material abundance, no matter of how many people that you have surrounding you. Happiness and love is within you, all on your own. Your shadow self really wants to come through and talk to you about knowing how worthy you are. Again, this is just a resounding message that keeps coming through in the fact that you might have felt like your past failures were because you weren't good enough, because you could have done more, or you weren't ready, things like that. But you need to also recognize that nobody does perfectly their very first try. And if they do, chances are they want more for themselves. That wasn't the highest that they are aiming. They've worked very hard to get to where they are and to achieve what they have. And I'm hearing some people, some shadow beings being like, well, if only it were that easy, it must be nice, that sort of a thing. But what we don't see are the inner battles that everyone else is dealing with. And rather than focusing on what others are doing, we need to focus on ourselves. We can't better ourselves if we don't first stop looking to the other lane. You know, we need to look at what's in front of us, what's within us, in order to move forward and elevate for ourselves. Things happen to us, for a reason. And whether or not you can see that reason right away, that's not the case. I mean, that's not the important part. It's not the point. The point is that through those experiences, you're learning and you're growing. Because without a little pushback, without some obstacles, without some failures, and I'll explain the quotes in a little bit, but we cannot hope to move forward in the way that we'd like to. We cannot hope to grow or be better than we were yesterday without some adversity facing us. And I know it sounds like, well, why is so-and-so's life easier than mine, blah, blah, blah. It's not about comparing oranges to apples. You know, you're not the same as someone else. Your journey is unique to you. And though you can aspire to be like someone, you have your own unique abilities, your own uniqueness and magic to you that makes you so much more special than you ever can imagine. And once you start to recognize that, and I'm getting reference to Pokemon again, is how there are a million Pikachus in the world, but Ash's Pikachu is something else. You know what I mean? And it's special to Ash because he knows how incredible and magical Pikachu is, and that's why he's able to tell which Pikachu is his Pikachu of all the Pikachus when they pretty much look the same. Let's be real. And the same with any of you who may have pets. You know, let's say you have a black cat and there's not any markings in particular that a typical person could distinguish your cat from another black cat. You probably can. You probably can be like, that's so-and-so. That's what you can have multiple black cats and know exactly who is who, because you know there's a uniqueness to them. You know that there's something special about each one that makes them who they are. And that's the same with you. You put other people on a platter, on a pedestal, when really you need to start putting yourself on the pedestal. Okay, you guys? And it's about you not shaming yourself or rejecting the things that pushed you back and that made you feel like unworthy or made you feel less than or made you feel like you could have been better. These were here to teach you that you are innately incredible, innately loved, and just special in itself. But because of the things that you want to achieve in this life, you need to learn and grow through these experiences. I'm hearing, how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough where you're going to keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward? Doesn't matter what obstacles thrown your way, you're going to get over it and you're going to reach your destination. Protect yourself in knowing that you are safe. You are safe to be who you are, to be what you want to be for you and no one else. You don't need any outside validation as far as like, I need to look a certain way, I need to act a certain way, I need to be this for somebody else. No. What do you want to look like for you, and what do you want to be like for you? That is all. Just for yourself. And that might sound like, oh, but that's selfish or something. I don't know why I'm hearing selfish. Maybe you feel like other people are selfish, but really it's about you, like understanding you're not going to achieve the things that you want to achieve unless you go out and do it yourself, unless you go after these things for you, because no one's going to do it for you. And again, no comparing, again, no jealousy and thinking that someone's life is better than yours or easier than yours, because you don't know the circumstances behind that. And though we like to think we do, there are so many inner battles that other people are fighting that we don't realize, that we don't know, because they're not shared. So keep that in mind for this collective reading. I'm going to wrap it up now. I feel like we need to get to the messages of the pile, so we're going to move into pile 1. Thank you so much if you were here with me to listen to this collective message from your inner shadow being, and let's move forward. What's up, pile 1? Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Evil Queen, hello. Let's dive into your reading right now. I'm going to go ahead and reveal your card. And this is number 6, Clouds, Danger, Worry, Instability. Okay, which I just realized I didn't cover the top, but that's fine. I wanted you to be able to pick what you felt called to. If you listened to the collective reading that I had before this, thank you so much for listening to that. I feel like that kind of was a great message for everyone, regardless of what you're going through. But for you guys, pile 1 in particular, this feels like about knowing your worth, really knowing your worth, and understanding that, you know, maybe your fears of being unworthy or not enough or good enough or whatever however you want to word it, for someone or something, that you are in fact that. You know, I'm just hearing, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And you're comparing yourself to Snow White, right? But the fact of the matter is that you are so uniquely different from Snow White. Like, the evil queen is not Snow White and vice versa, you know? There are things that you can do that make you who you are, and that's what people are going to be flocking to you for. Knowing your superpowers, that's what I'm hearing. It's about shifting your mindset from a lack mindset to an abundant one, in which you know that there is enough for everyone. There is more than enough for everyone, and it doesn't matter if it feels like, you know, oh, but there's only this much or whatever. It's really about you seeing that there's enough room for everyone. There's no such thing as I don't have enough, or I need to be this person here because otherwise someone else is going to take that spot and I'm not going to get it anymore. No, this is about you realizing that should, let's say, for example, a job opening comes up and someone else got it over you, a promotion, okay? This is not about you looking at this as like, well, what the fuck, you know, like, I'm so much better than so-and-so. How are they better than me? How are they doing this or that? No, this is about you seeing that, okay, that was not meant for me because something bigger and better is in the works, and trusting in that, because it is. What's meant for you is meant for you, and it's not going to pass you by in that way. Things have to fall apart sometimes so that better things can come together. And sometimes rejection is for your protection. And once you start to recognize that, I'm hearing clouds in my coffee. I bet you think this song is about you. Sometimes you might have this way, your inner villain comes out and, you know, you say or do things that might be a little bit like of a sting. I keep seeing like a scorpion when it's like stinging. You can hear Bruno growling in the background. And just knowing like you don't need to have hatred towards anybody who maybe beat you out on something, or let's say like you are trying to get with someone in particular, but there's another girl who has their attention, you know, rather than hating on that girl, it's about you moving forward and saying that there are plenty of better people out there for you, plenty of fish in the sea at that. And yeah, I feel like you guys may be my pile with a lot of inner child wounds, particularly like I'm just hearing daddy issues. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your dad, but that sort of blanket trauma, as far as like, you know, you either had a dad who was never there, never really put you as a priority or made you a priority in that way, and was always like choosing someone else over you, or like you were just not important. That's what it feels like. They may have been a workaholic, choosing work over you at times. They may have had, maybe you came from a split family situation in which your father figure, or again, it doesn't have to be your dad, it could be your mom too, but that person was always, you know, looking at other partners versus like paying attention to you and giving you the love and attention that you so, I don't want to say desperately needed, but you definitely needed as a child. And the only way you would get that attention is either you fuck something up or you do something extremely good. So I have two sides of the coin here, and you take what resonates, because I feel like this is really like you had to be an overachiever, perfectionist type of vibe in order to get like some sort of validation, love, or praise or attention from this person. And it could be multiple people too, but definitely that kind of energy in which if you didn't get that received love back, you know, it's kind of like you wanted to throw the apple at them or at whoever was taking them away from you. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Do I have a bonus card? I guess I do. Okay. I forgive myself for thinking I need to know exactly where it is I'm going before taking a step forward. I choose to believe that the path before me will be illuminated the moment I garner the courage to trust myself to make the first move. The genius control. We also have, I forgive myself for mistaking achievement for a measurement of my worth. Wow, what was I saying? I choose to believe that although I may find myself drawn towards achievement, my worth is not in any way defined by the extent to which I am capable of attaining my goals. The narcissist esteem. Okay. I guess we'll do these first. I didn't realize I had 3. Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And then we have Jasmine. I am scared. True statement. When I am vulnerable, I am at my strongest. Reconnect with your feminine energy and pursue something that ignites your fire. Open the gates of your fortress and explore. Which, sorry for the glare. Oops. Insight, Clary Sage. Trigger statement, there is no hope. True statement, there is a higher purpose. Connect with your higher self and allow to be guided to your higher purpose. As the veil of illusion falls away, the clouds will clear. That's what I'm hearing. You will find your answer. And then we also have Rose with compassion. Trigger statement, I am unlovable. True statement, I am love. Your heart is healing and expanding with love. Spending time showering yourself with that love and then share with others. Absolutely, you guys. So, pile 1. I just feel like I'm gonna go ahead and put that here. Sorry for the glare, guys. Hopefully that's better. Okay. Jumping on into this, it feels like again, this fear of not being loved or worthy, this fear that, you know, you aren't good enough for certain things in your life, and understanding like you don't need to achieve certain things in order to have love. You don't need to be a certain way in order for you to have love. And sometimes even when you do achieve that, you don't necessarily get that love or attention that you were hoping for, right? And so that is why this is coming up. There is no hope, when in fact there is a higher purpose. It may not make sense at the time, and definitely I can see how frustrating that can be, but definitely it's about you having more compassion for yourself and seeing that you are worthy of love. It's not about the person who wasn't giving you the love, making you feel a certain way. I mean, in a way it is, but let me explain. It's more so like you recognizing that you don't need that person's love in order to be whole, in order to be fulfilled. Rather, you need to see your worth in that, in the sense that like that person, whoever it was, whether it was your dad, your mom, whoever, okay, it wasn't about you not being good enough for them to love, or you not being, you know, achieving enough for them to give you the love that you absolutely needed. Rather, this is about them not being in the best state of mind, or where they were at the time in their life of when this was taking place. I don't know why words are like escaping me right now. Maybe you have a very hard time expressing yourself as far as like what you need from somebody, and how you're feeling, especially to the person who is triggering you in that way. And this could be because you were always like pushed to the side again, and it was almost like you were not important enough to be heard or to be loved in that sense as you were going through these situations. And time again, you might have recognized these patterns within relationships that you've had with other people. But you need to also see that like everybody's going through their own challenges, their own path, and their own growth stages. And while that is not an excuse, especially for a parent to not give you what you need as a child, especially when it comes to love, you know, sometimes parents are not ready to be parents. 9 times out of 10, actually, I want to tell you that parents have no freaking clue what they're doing. They're learning as they're going, as you're growing as well. And again, some of us have had really young parents, or parents who just were not stable enough to really be that person for you. And while I'm not trying to make any type of excuse for them, this is just you recognizing that is not a reflection on you by any means. And if they had lashed out or spewed venom on you in a way that really hurt you and cut you deep, that is also not a reflection on you. That is a reflection of them. They're mirroring out and pushing that out to you because they're dealing with inner challenges and demons that they don't know how to do that other than lash out at people around them. And you being the easy target as a child, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. And I'm just giving you guys a really big hug. Your inner child is like, ugh. I know this is a inner shadow being reading, but it's you recognizing your shadow being, your inner villain wants you to see that it's almost like I'm just hearing fuck them. And not in like a mean way, but in a way that is like you are not defined by those things. You are not defined by the experiences that you've had. Rather, you are defined by who you choose to be moving forward, how you choose to react going forward, and take control of yourself in a way that allows you to be empowered and stepping into your power. And we don't need to keep spreading the darkness and the hate and lingering in that, but we do need to start healing. And in order for us to start healing, your inner villain, your inner shadow being really wants you to connect with that inner child that needs love and know that you are worthy all on your own. You don't need to do anything or look a certain way in order to get that love. Again, that's just coming through so hard. No comparing, no feeling like I did achieve this and I still didn't get what I was looking for. If you notice how that void needs to continuously be filled, while that may be your love language now, that is also something that you are learning to break the pattern of. You are learning to understand that you don't need anybody's validation other than your own. do it for you and nobody else. Have no fear that people are going to look at you like, oh, they're not good enough, they're not smart enough, they didn't do that, or that's all they did. Like, no. Get that shit out of your head, because you are fucking badass, pile one. You're the fucking evil queen. And if you ever watched Once Upon a Time, like, the evil queen is also Regina, you know, and she becomes this incredible being when she learns to balance out her good and bad side. Bad, I don't even want to say it like that, but literally we all have shadow and light within us. It's about finding that balance and walking that balance. And while we can sway like a flame back and forth like that, know that you are worthy regardless of which side you are in majority of the time. You know, loving on your shadow self, loving on your inner child, and knowing that, like, you were always good enough. You were always worthy. That's what's really coming through strong. Let me get some tarot out to clarify and get you more messages. Okay, pile one. I hope my babbling isn't too crazy. I feel like I might have been repeating things now that I... Ooh, the moon reverse. We're just going to take it as it comes. I wasn't ready, but that card really wanted to come out. What does pile one's inner shadow being want them to know? We have the Five of Swords reversed, 10 of Cups, the Lovers, and the King of Cups reversed. Okay. And the back of your deck right now is the Queen of Coins reversed. Pile one, you guys have a lot of things that you keep bottled up within you. Again, it's that feeling of not feeling comfortable enough to express yourself, whether it's like the way you're feeling, your desires, things like that. Love even might be kind of difficult for you to express with your person. I do feel like you need to understand that you are all that in a bag of chips. That's what I'm hearing. Your shadow self is like, be your badass self, you know, step into that and know that you are worthy of love. You don't need to feel like you're not good enough. You don't, that's a resounding message coming through if you didn't notice. But this feeling of like, I need to be the best or else, like, you don't need to feel like that. You don't need to feel like you need to be the top bitch or whatever it is. It's really about you seeing like, we can all win together. You know, I'm hearing, I didn't even watch High School Musical, but I hear that song, we're all in this together. That's what I'm hearing. But anyway, this is like truly about you guys seeing that with the help of other people around you, of the people that you care about and that you work with or alongside with. You might not like all of them because you look at them as competition, but really, like, outside of that, you're like, oh, I love that person as a friend, you know, like, they're great people, blah blah blah. But like, this energy of you feeling like you need to win at all costs is like, your shadow self is asking you to allow that to fall to the wayside in a way that is healthy for you. You know, because we can't just go cold turkey and do that, especially if we were kind of bred that way, if that makes sense. And knowing that your emotions and how you are feeling, you can connect to that as you work, as you do things in the workplace, or even with other people, feeling like, you know, you have to be the center of attention or like the number one or something to that effect. Now take what resonates, because this is a general reading, pile one. But definitely, like, it's this feeling of like, I don't have enough, I need to get more, and why am I doing all of these things and still like everyone is doing great around me, but what about me? You know, this energy of like, it's almost like you're filling a cup up with something that is not meant to be filled up with, like oil in water. It's just not blending, it's not meshing, and so therefore it's just always splitting apart, if that makes sense. I don't know what other way to explain this, because that's what I'm seeing in my mind, but it's like oil and water. That's what I'm hearing and seeing. You know, some of us might not feel safe enough to express what we need to express or to have emotions come to the surface and be vulnerable, when in fact you are safe enough to be vulnerable. You know, you are safe enough to show your true self out to the world. True love, this is about true love for yourself first, in order for you to bring it from someone else, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying you have to be completely 100% healed in order to be in a loving relationship, absolutely not. But in order for you to, look at this King of Coins behind that, in order for you to really attract that person into your life, if that's something that you're trying to do, again, this is general, we're gonna cover all the bases. I do feel like it's about you seeing that you are worthy of love. You are worthy of the things that you are trying to attain, and being able to attain that happy family first has to be fulfilled with yourself. You need to be able to say, I feel like a big thing too for you, pile one, is about having more gratitude and practicing it more when you feel like you're in your shadow aspect, in your shadowy self, and understanding like when we're feeling like, oh, but that person is like, oh, why, I don't even want to look at that person or talk to them, even though you would like them. Okay, they're a really nice person, whatever the case may be, and like you're just not fulfilled by the things that you are achieving, by the things that you have materially, things like that. Or maybe you just feel like there's a void that needs to be filled. But the fact of the matter is, pile one, is that you need to fill that void yourself first. You know, when you look at the evil queen, even when she became the fairest of them all, that wasn't enough for her. She needed more, more, more. You know, while I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, you know, once you attain a goal, you can't have any more goals. No, absolutely not. Appreciate where you are and what you have achieved thus far, and really just stop and smell the roses. You know, I feel like this is about you knowing and understanding that there is enough for everyone. And just because someone else is also winning doesn't mean or take away, doesn't take away anything from you. Okay? That's a huge thing coming through. It's like, it's not taking away from you. There's more than enough for everyone to hit their goals and be happy. And though we may have the same goals as someone else, let's say like a job position, like I said, a promotion, and there's only one spot and the other person beats you out for it, it's not about you feeling like, oh, fuck that person, I'm done with that person. You know what I mean? It's about you understanding rejection was for your protection, and there's something better coming your way. And though you may not feel like it in the moment, sometimes you gotta like take a step back after, of course, honoring your feelings. I definitely feel that's important. Your shadow self is like, feel those feelings, embrace them, but don't sit there too long. You know what I mean? But definitely that energy. So what does your shadow self want you to know, or what does your shadow being want to tell you? Does pile one shadow being want to tell them? The Eight of Wands reversed and the Six of Swords. What does your inner shadow being want to tell you? Clouds in my coffee. The Ace of Swords reversed. Okay, and the back of your deck is the Justice card in the upright. I love it. Okay. Your shadow being really wants you to know, pile one, that anything that you have been feeling stagnant or stuck in or blocked off from in your life was, again, for your protection. This is like just the cherry on top to tell you like what I've been saying and all the things. Really understanding like sometimes it's going to take us a while to get over that hump, but once you do, you can start to navigate into calmer waters. And when I say waters, I mean like the emotions that you are having, you know. We can't swim in crazy tumultuous waves for a long period of time, if any time at that. And while like this analogy probably won't come out as eloquently as I hope, it's about you embracing that stormy water and feeling those feelings, honoring them. But once you've honored those feelings, release so that you can come into the calm waters and you don't have to struggle so much. You don't have to be gasping for air all the time, being like, why am I so exhausted? What's happening? You know, when like if you just allow yourself to release, the water will just but really, like, sometimes we again can't see what we're why these things are unfolding for us or happening for us, you know. But you need to let go of the burden that you're carrying, the burdens that you're carrying, like in feeling like you didn't get this because you weren't good enough, or so and so was better than you, or because so and so looks a certain way, or things like that. Justice is coming. Karma. I'm hearing the song from Taylor Swift. Karma is a cat purring in my lap. And oh my god, the Wheel of Fortune right behind that. You guys, literally, it's just allowing yourself to, again, trust in the process. I know that's really complex to hear, or not complex. Wow. That's really annoying to hear when you're going through things. But trusting that you will overcome these things, and things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And practice that gratitude. Practice you understanding, like, I was saved from something, and you're that cat purring in her lap, and just understanding, like, it's happening for you. Trust in the process. Trust in the things that you're trying to manifest, and kind of take that little pivot in your mindset as far as like, well, there's nothing else left for me. What's the point? You know, trust. I feel like when one door closes, a bigger one opens. So trust in that, pile one. And yeah, you guys are absolutely amazing. I do want to say that your shadow being is like, you're a badass. Trust in karma. Be your good self. Keep your side of the street clean, and you'll be just fine. Okay, but definitely it's about you bringing a little bit of balance into your emotions and trusting in that, and allowing yourself to express what you're feeling when you're feeling it, and not bottling it up and harnessing it so that one day you just explode like a volcano, you know. But that's what I'm seeing. I hope that this reading brought you what you needed to hear from your inner villain, your inner badass, telling you, like, you are worthy of all the things. Don't get so frustrated on the little things, because again, your manifestations are coming towards you, whether it looks like it's happening quickly or not. It's just trusting that things are unfolding the way that they need to in order for you to get there. And you can't sit in the negative too long. Honor those feelings and let it go, and it's time to swim forward. Okay. But thank you so much, pile one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please go ahead and smash the like button and comment down below a cloud emoji, so I know you're from pile one, or a crown emoji. Let's do that. Comment a crown emoji so I know you're from pile one. And let me know how you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please go ahead and smash the like button. Did I say that already? If you feel so inclined to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and hit the little bell notification so you don't miss a beat. I'll also be dropping my Patreon down below in case you're interested in joining there for exclusive content and weekly energy readings not available here on YouTube. And don't forget to check out 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒔's reading over on her channel, linked below. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Have a magical day or night whenever you're watching this. I'll see you next time. Bye. What's up, pile two? If you chose the Red Queen, welcome to your reading. Drop a heart down below so I know that you are from pile two, the Red Queen. Right off the bat, I'm just hearing, who's been painting my roses red? And it's also in this song that I have channeled a couple of times, called I Am a Queen by 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒔. I will put it on the screen and try to link a video down below as well. But knowing that regardless of what you identify as, you guys already know, you are a queen and you are innately worthy of whatever it is. For pile one, I did reveal these first, but I think I'm going to do tarot first for you guys. So revealing your card here, we have 14, fox, falsehood, cunning, malice. Now, for some of you as a child, you might have felt like, you know, you had to be the center of attention, and not in the way that sounds, not in that way that it sounds, I guess, but in a way like you either were some, why can't I talk? You were the child always trying to be like the center, the one that got everything, that kind of thing. But you could also identify with you, you know, not getting enough attention, if that makes sense. It's like I'm being shown two completely separate things. So take what resonates. I know that sounds crazy, but that's kind of what it is. Anyway, I do feel like you have this fiery spirit about you, though. You might have been called bossy before or stubborn, and this pile might be dealing with a lot of comparison trap things from, you know, well, why can't you be more like so-and-so? Why can't you be more like so-and-so? Why can't you do this just like so-and-so? Is what's so hard? You might have had to deal with a lot of those growing up as well, or feeling like, you know, somebody else got everything but you didn't, despite the things that you were doing and achieving and all of those things. So again, comes in that comparison, right? I just kind of feel like whether this could be amongst a sibling or another family member or something like that, a friend that you might have had growing up, that's kind of what I'm being shown right now. And it really doesn't have anything to do with your worth or the fact like there's something wrong with you. It kind of feels like, you know, maybe you feel like that. What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me. Like, why can't you just like see that I'm this and I'm that? You know what I mean? Like, why are you always doing this for so and so when they don't even do that? They just whine, something like that. Okay, so again, take what resonates. But I do feel like your inner shadow being is coming through and saying like there are things that we need to revisit in order for us to heal, and we might already feel like we have done the healing for it, but again, healing is not linear, you know. It's like a never-ending journey, and though every so often we might have to like revisit it, and it's like exercise, you know. You can't just say you exercised one day and that's it, you're done, you're fit, you know. You have to keep doing it, kind of thing. That might be like a really bad analogy, but we're just going with it. We're going with it. Okay, what does pile two's inner shadow being want them to know? Queen of Wands reversed, Page of Cups. What does pile two's inner shadow being want them to know? Ace of Coins reversed. Judgment reversed, and one more piece. The Seven of Wands. I'm going to note the Four of Cups reversed, but we're going to put it back. Four of Cups reversed. Queen of Cups at the back for now. Pile two. You are definitely I would like to well, how do I even say this? Why am I having such a hard time? Okay, hold on. Pile two. I feel like you have done a lot emotionally to overcome the hurdles that you might have had in your life, in which maybe when you were younger, you didn't quite know how to express yourself in a healthy way. So this could have a lot to do with, like, you know, lashing out at people, throwing a fit as a child, something like that. But also knowing that you've come a long way, and in how you navigate those emotions and how you choose to share those emotions and express them so that you don't bottle them up and explode. I do feel like there's a lot of this, like, well, why is so-and-so getting everything when I, like, you know, feeling like, again, I'm being shown two sides of the spectrum here. I feel like some of you might have been someone who was really spoiled, but then that wasn't enough. It was kind of like someone was buying your love, I guess. That kind of energy in which really you just wanted to be valued for who you were, not just be bought. You know what I mean? And for others of you, I do feel like this is just about someone else getting everything and you getting left with like the short end of the stick, if that, you know, like a twig. And I feel like this is about like seeing that it had, again, nothing to do with the way you were valued as a person, the way you were loved, not the way, how much you were loved, I'll say that. I feel like it's about recognizing that, you know, holding on to that negativity and that anger inside of you as a child might have been something that really triggered you in other places, you know, having like a bitterness about you in which you're like, well, why do I have to do that when, why can't so-and-so do that, you know, because you were probably the one who always had to do things and still didn't get like rewarded for them or loved for them, if that makes sense. Like it was different for you. And it's kind of like this unfairness energy that I'm picking up on. And again, take only what resonates and leave the rest. Very much your shadow being is asking you to look within yourself and see like, what is it that makes you like tick, like go tick, 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 tick. It's kind of about you really looking in the mirror, not literal mirror, but like you can, if that helps, at what it is that you have been holding on to as far as anger and resentment. It feels like that, like it's just pent up in there. And though, like I said, you might have done a lot of work on this already and you've come a long way, your shadow being is very proud of you, don't get me wrong. If you're feeling like there are any stagnancies in your life or blockages in your life, it could be because you really need to look at how you feel about those situations previously. You know, there are things inside that you're holding on to that you might not even realize still bother you. And when you get to the root of it, that's kind of like, oh, okay, that doesn't belong there, and take it out. It's almost like the seed wasn't planted properly. You have to dig it back up and make sure you did it the way that it should have been done or could have been done better. You know what I mean? Not gonna lie, I'm seeing like, I'm seeing, what's his name? Draco Malfoy in my head. I was gonna say Lucius, but I meant Draco. And how he's kind of spoiled, but then like, it's still not enough for him, you know, like he has this attitude about him in which he feels like, and I'm not saying this is you, but that's what I'm being shown. I'm just channeling a message. Which is how he has this air about him, and like, what makes Harry Potter so special when he has nothing, like he doesn't do anything and like things are just handed to him, and it's like kind of that spiteful energy that I'm picking up on. And it's about you understanding, like, don't look at another flower that's blooming, look at your own flower that's blooming, because that's what matters, your own. Again, that message of comparing and really looking within yourself to see that you are worthy and you don't need to be like, you know, better than somebody else next to you. Really, it's just about you seeing like you are worthy and good all on your own, and giving yourself kind of that love and harnessing the feelings that you have, the passion, and really using that towards something that you've been wanting to achieve for yourself, connecting with that energy of emotions and like releasing those frustrations in a healthy and creative way. I do want to reveal your oracle cards to get a bigger picture, especially with the Queen of Cups at the back. I do feel like this is really about you, you know, being honest about how you're feeling, but also expressing it in a healthy way and not fixating on anything in particular. So Let's reveal. I forgive myself for giving my power away by valuing the opinions of others over my own. I choose to believe that when I trust myself to clarify and stand by my own truth, I allow for the creation of a world I actually want to live in. Yeah. That's the conformist acceptance. I forgive myself for feeling as though I should not have experiences that only I seem to benefit from. I choose to believe that when I give myself permission to independently explore my desires, I'm able to return to my loved ones with renewed passion. And again, this is that energy of focusing on yourself, on what you want for you. It's not selfish, but by you involving yourself in what's happening around you, that's kind of fueling the fire that is making it that much harder for you to remove any blockages in your life, that kind of thing. We have Ylang Ylang with Awaken. The trigger statement is, I don't know what to do. And the true statement is, every moment is a new opportunity. Take time today to engage your senses and create. The tension that has been dividing your head and heart is leaving. So again, having that creative outlet, finding a creative way to express yourself and your passions within you. We also have Green Mandarin with opportunity. The trigger statement is, I doubt it. True statement, there is hope. With fresh eyes, see the potential within the situation. Definitely, 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒔, I feel like this is about you doubting yourself and your abilities and the fact that you can harness those potentials within you to create something absolutely incredible and abundant for yourself. And rather than doubting your magic, doubting your power, it's time for you to stand in it. You know, if the Red Queen doubted herself, you know, would she be the Red Queen? Absolutely not. But she's also not happy because she doubts that, you know, she's worthy all in her own. She always needs to have people who, you know, are looking at her a certain way and feeling a certain way about her. And it's not about that. It's about how you feel about yourself. We have service. I feel good when I can help others. Definitely. And you also have empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation. So this is again about balancing your emotions and feeling like there's a healthy way to express it, by also you knowing that yes, you can be of service to others and it feels good to help other people and not feel like, why does so-and-so get it better, blah blah blah, why should I help so-and-so to get better when they get everything and I get nothing. Like it's kind of that energy of like that, having that negative spite come out and allowing yourself to creatively express yourself in a way that allows you to not feel spite, but rather see that there's enough for everybody and you will get yours in due time, but you need to start focusing on you first. Definitely have that energy coming out. But let's see what else your shadow being wants to tell you. Definitely again about you stepping into your power, feeling that. What does 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒔's shadow being want to tell them? Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Wow. Okay. What does 𝒕𝒐𝒔's inner shadow being want to tell them? What does 𝒕𝒐𝒔's shadow being want to tell them? Whoa. Okay. Six of Wands reversed. The Moon reversed. In the back of your deck, we have the Page of Wands reversed. Okay. Pile 2. You're holding on to pain still that you need to heal. Again, you might feel like you're not, but there is something that's hiding beneath the surface that needs to come up in order for you to achieve the recognition and advancement that you have been manifesting in your life. There's no room for it when you hold on to negative emotions. And again, this isn't about you being all frou-frou and all light and love only all the time, because we need that healthy balance. But really it's about you like coming out of the darkness that you might have been feeling, coming out of that place where you feel like you're not getting enough, you're not doing enough, or there's no time for me to do this. How am I supposed to do that? And looking at the situation from a negative viewpoint rather than taking control and seeing that, you know, that tiny shift as far as like, I can do this. This is what I'm going to do today. And really allowing yourself to pour back into you. while you do feel good being of service to others, some of you might be even exhausted to that point where you need to start looking at it as you're doing something good for other people. You're helping other people when you do things that you don't necessarily want to be doing, but are pushing you forward and helping you, if that makes sense. Despite, like, you know, when other people do the same thing, they might get like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, and like all like making a big deal out of it, but like really that should be something that you're kind of like rolling your eyes, and like that's something that should just be done, you know, like. But when that person does it, they get like a whole party. What the hell? Like, that's bullshit, which I agree, it's totally bullshit. But rather than you harnessing that negativity and holding on to it for so long and stewing over, like, why should I even do it when I don't even get appreciated for it and things like that, it's letting it go and seeing that, you know, I'm not, it's not as praised for me because it kind of feels expected. And in that same breath, I also want you to see that you're that much better in that way, that you don't need to be praised because it takes so much for the other person to do that thing that should be just done, you know? And by you making a fuss about it, it's just making the situation worse, in which, like, okay, what's the point of you even doing it because you don't really want to do it? But like, just kind of almost like taking the higher road and being the bigger person, if that makes sense. And the way I'm being shown this is like, if you guys watch Through the Looking Glass, when Alice goes back in time and sees how the Red Queen's head gets so big in the first place, it's because she took the blame for her sister eating the cookies or something like that, right? And basically her sister didn't say anything, right? She just let her get in trouble and like held on to that guilt for so long. But at that same point, the Red Queen held on to all that anger and all that, you know, hatred towards her sister because of that, because, you know, she was a hothead kind of. And not trying to say that that's what you guys are doing or that's who you are, but like in a way that you could have expressed yourself and said, like, why did you do this? And have an honest conversation with the person who is bothering you or who is causing you so much distress, and really expressing yourself in a calm and healthy way so that you don't have to bottle it up and hold all this anger and resentment within you for whoever it is in your life. And like, having empathy and seeing that, like, though other people may not have that empathy towards you, that doesn't mean like you need to reflect that back. While I don't believe that you should also be, you know, bending over backwards for people who don't appreciate you, or bending over backwards and doing all the things when other people just berate you or things like that. Of course, have those boundaries, but what I'm saying is, take a look into what areas of your life this can apply to, as far as like you being more open to an understanding of a person, and rather than coming off right off the bat like, I don't understand, like, how can that person see you like that? How can it possibly be viewed in this way? But I'm just being, I just keep hearing my daughter saying, ew, gross, like when I try to feed her something new or like something that she actually likes, but now because there's something green on it, she's like, ew, that's gross. It's like having that preset mind, that preset thing that you've decided already how it is, that's what's affecting you, and that's what's holding you back from opening up the floodgates and exploring more and expanding more and achieving more, and trusting in that, you know, yeah, you're expressing yourself on your negative feelings, but like, as you keep doing that, you just keep attracting more and more negativity towards you. And your shadow being says, yes, we have pain here, and yes, we need to do some healing and work on ourselves in order for us to truly experience the life that we want and the life that we are worthy of and capable of achieving. And it's just about you looking within yourself and seeing, how can you do that? How can you help heal yourself? How can you address that? What do you want to say to your inner child? What do you want to say to whoever is bothering you or whoever is causing you this distress? And if it's not something that you quite feel comfortable expressing healthily, start off by writing it down, like writing it in letter form, so that you can at least get that layer of pent up anger or hurt and pain out on paper. And as you express that and you read it out loud, you can then to start peel back the onion layers and get to the heart of you, because you're not a bad person, pile 2. And though people might make you feel that way, you're absolutely not. You're a fucking badass magical being, and you are cunning. You have all these things that can drive and fuel your passions and have you achieve a million things, a million dreams. And it's just about you connecting to your heart space and allowing yourself to give yourself love, to view things through the lens of love, if that makes sense. And I know it's not quite the message that I was expecting from a shadow being, from your inner shadow being. I'm just being shown kind of like how Maleficent, she was supposed to be this evil villain, right? But in Maleficent, she's taking care of Aurora. She loves Aurora and she cares for her, even though she like kind of complains about her, or is like, oh, go away, you're annoying, you know. And it's that tiny little shift that makes it all the better, you know. And I think that's kind of what it is for you guys, like allowing yourself, what's this, yeah, to see the truth of who you are, and that you're not evil or bad or whatever. Like there's nothing wrong with you. It's just about you having this true love for yourself and letting go of the things that you've been holding on to and that have been eating away at you, because it's honestly causing you to live too long in the shadow. And the shadow being message is really coming through to tell you, you know, sometimes we think we're done doing the work with healing and doing the shadow work, but and shadow work is that, looking at your shadows and how can we bring more light to balance everything out. So I'm very interested to hear what messages you have coming through from Colleen's reading, Spiritualistic, which I will drop down below. But that is where I'm going to leave your reading, pile 2, and know that you are absolutely a badass, okay? Such a badass. And these are all incredible things that empower you and make you that much stronger. But it's about balance and loving and healing yourself, that the parts of yourself that so desperately need healing and love. And so I'm giving you a ginormous hug right now. I love you guys so much. If you guys are loving all this message and resonating with it, please go ahead and smash the like button and comment down below a heart emoji so I know you're from pile 2. And yeah, let me know how it resonated for you and the connections that you've made with Colleen's Spiritualistics reading. And let me know. I love listening to the conversations in the comment section. So if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you don't miss a beat. I will also be dropping my Patreon link down below in case you're interested in joining our magical family there, where we have exclusive content and weekly energy readings not available here on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for being here. I love you, and have a magical day or night whenever you're watching this. I'll see you soon. Bye! What's up, pile 3? If you chose Maleficent, welcome to your reading. I'm going to go ahead and leave these aside for now and just kind of see what comes through first. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and reveal your card. Pile 3, we have Maleficent. So this one says 12 birds, disagreement, mistake, and stress. So I definitely feel like some of you might be troubled by something that has happened in the recent past, regarding some kind of disagreement with somebody. And it's very vague as far as who this person is. Someone you obviously care about because it has been bothering you, but I do feel like you're doing a lot of the work that needs to be done in order for you to heal from this. And yeah, that shadow work, you know. But I do feel like a lot of you might dwell in your mistakes and how, you know, what could I have done better? Things like that. Am I a mistake? Like having these stressed out feelings about, you know, I guess how other people view you and the things that you're doing, you know. You might identify with this feeling of, you know, feeling all alone and broken and like really taking your flaws to heart. I do feel like there's this part of you that kind of looks at your, you know, what you view as a flaw or an imperfection, whether this be something physical or within yourself, and really kind of stressing out about it and getting some anxiety around it. And like, oh, what if all these people look at this and see that and just that, and feeling like very unworthy of love, unworthy of, you know, things in your life. I definitely feel like you're someone who's very strong, and I think you don't have a problem viewing things from both sides as well. Like you're learning to have a better viewpoint as far as like how another person might be feeling, very empathetic in that way, or working on being more empathetic in that way, and seeing like, you know, maybe they're going through this or that I don't know, and that's why this is happening, something like that. And yeah, I just feel like a lot of growth is happening for you, a lot of energy of growth and overcoming things, seeing that, you know, there are incredible things about you and people are not looking at your flaws. So let's first draw some tarot. What does pile three's shadow being, inner villain want to say? Three of Wands and the Nine of Wands. This pile might have messages in multiple groups for sure. I definitely felt that going into the reading. With any pile, honestly, you probably have more messages in more than one pile, but yeah. You have Temperance in the reverse on the King of Cups. One more, please. What does pile three's inner shadow being wants to say? And we have Judgment in the reverse, as well as the Two of Swords, which I'm going to note, but I'm not taking. The back of your deck is the Knight of Wands. Pile three. Wow. I feel like a lot of you have been through a lot of pain and heartbreak in your life, in which you've had to learn how to overcome alone a lot of the time, or at least you felt alone. Finding your way to your purpose has also been a very major thing, in which, you know, I feel like this pile is a little bit different feeling from the rest, and it's kind of like it's kind of like the things that have happened for you, these pains and heartaches and trauma, it really took a toll on you. And for a lot of you, I feel like you didn't share that with the world or with those in your around you, maybe one person or two, but I definitely feel that this is a very kind of specific group of people that deal with things solo on their own, and feeling like, you know, they don't need anybody, but really you have so many loving energies around you that are there to support you should you lean into that and need that support, you know, not feeling like you're a burden, because you're not a burden to anybody, but also this energy of feeling like, you know, people trauma dump on you sometimes, and it's a lot for you to take. And I feel like a lot of you are empaths in this pile, or light workers even, and which is why I feel like not everyone will necessarily resonate with the entire message of this, or a majority of it at least. And it's because like it's taking you a while to kind of find your way and find your path. For some of you, you found it, and for others of you, you're still finding it. And I feel like it's about you figuring out how to navigate those feelings that you've been holding on to, and kind of like it's kind of like a buildup of, you know, things that you weren't able to talk out with someone or express with someone because you didn't want to be a burden, or you didn't want to be looked at a certain way, or you're worried about what other people might think about this situation, when really, like, you're not the one who's done anything wrong. You know, these things are shitty things that have happened to you, and you are allowed to talk about them. You are allowed to share and express how you're feeling and how these things might still be affecting you despite you putting in the work to heal all on your own. I definitely feel like there's so many times where you thought you were going to give up, and I'm just going to give you a really big hug right now because I feel very emotional thinking about all of this and feeling all of this. But I know has not been easy pretending like you are the strong one and like everything is great. Because deep down there are so many things that are hurting. That, wow. Sorry, pile 3. Was not expecting to cry. Give me a second. Okay. Pile 3, sorry. I feel like a lot of you might cry when you're alone. I'm seeing shower crying. Very therapeutic, by the way, and healthy release for you. So don't ever feel like that's weird or wrong, because it's not. Allow that water to help cleanse and release what you're holding on to. You're so strong, and your shadow being is here to tell you that you've done so much work. You might feel very broken and very much like you're unlovable in some way, but you're not. You're so loved and you're so worthy. And like, you have this magical air about you with so much passion and desire to achieve all the things and do something great. And some of you might not know what that is yet, and others of you are working extremely hard to get there. And you might not have seen the rewards yet. You might not have been able to reap the rewards of that yet. And it's because I feel like your shadow being is telling you that you need to start recognizing how beautiful you are, how incredibly magical you are. And just like Maleficent, when she was stripped of her wings, you know, she had to recognize how powerful she still was and how incredible she still was. And in a way that allowed her to move forward and allowed her to achieve what she wanted. And in the beginning, when she was first feeling that anger, you know, she allowed it to overcome her and become revenge. And as she grew and healed, and with the help of Aurora at that, she was able to see that it was not the right way to express her anger, you know? But you're not wrong for doing it, if that makes sense. I feel like your shadow being is here to tell you that birds of a feather flock together. Be very mindful of who you surround yourself with. I feel like you might have an energy vampire in your realm, so be mindful of that. And just knowing, like, sometimes negativity can spread like wildfire, and you definitely, I think you recognize that, pile 3. And you also need to see, like, sometimes misery loves company, oftentimes misery loves company. And so it's time for you to kind of come out of that and see that, you know, let me change that up, because I do feel like a lot of you don't sit in that misery loves company energy, but you might be surrounded by those who tend to complain a lot, you know. And I feel like you guys do your best not to pour into that, but every once in a while we're allowed to complain, you know. It's human nature, and we're allowed to vent a little when shitty things happen, you know, especially when we've been doing all the work behind the scenes. And I feel like soon enough you're going to see the rewards of your the benefits of what you have been working towards. And whatever that is kind of a blanket statement at that. It's something that is definitely you're passionate about. And for those of you who are not quite there yet, I do feel like this is about you not giving up and pouring more into yourself. What makes you happy? What lights your soul on fire? And seeing like you're allowed to express yourself. You're allowed to have a voice. You're allowed to be heard and seen. And you should be at that, you know? I feel like I need to reveal these to kind of elaborate the message. We have, I forgive myself for feeling as though I must see it before it is safe to believe it. I choose to believe that what I choose to believe is a powerful driver of my experience, and it is safe to explore a perspective that is more aligned with the reality I seek, the full control. And I forgive myself for shaming myself for the intensity with which I experience my life. I choose to believe that when I open myself up to the full spectrum of experience, I give myself permission to explore the depths of my being so that I may gain a clearer understanding of who I am to be in the world. The abstinent comfort. So you guys, I definitely feel like some of you might have been told like you're too sensitive, you take it too personally, but really that's not a flaw, okay, you guys? You have flow with 𝒕𝒐𝒔𝒏. I might be saying that wrong. Trigger statement. Why are things such a struggle? True statement. I am in the flow. Take a breath, dear one, and allow yourself to feel the flow of life through you. Wow, that sounded funny. Take a breath, dear one, and allow yourself to feel the flow of life through you. Release your need to do and just be. And then you have purpose with Melissa. Trigger statement. What is the point of it all? True statement. I am special. You have a unique place in this world with gifts and talents that only you can provide. Use your connection with the divine to share them. I had a feeling, but I didn't want to say it. And I will say it now. Definitely. You guys are definitely, I think I did say it actually. I take it back. Light workers. Feeling like you have these gifts within you and you might push them aside or feel like you're not as good as so-and-so. You don't need to feel like that. You know, your gifts are unique to you, as is everyone else's. And though we want and aspire to be like others, that's great, but you need to first love on yourself. We have friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So pile 3, I definitely feel like you've done a lot of work, and your shadow being is telling you like you've been sitting in the shadow work for quite some time now. It's time for you to have a little more fun and take things a little more lightly and get to the things that you have been wanting to get to. I feel like a lot of you might have had an issue with pouring time into places that you would like to because you either don't have very much time to do so, or you know, you're exhausted. We need to kind of reprioritize what it is that is knocking us off balance and try to fix that, because you kind of have control over those things as far as like discipline, or as far as like, you know, what can I let go of in order for me to take on this other thing that I really been wanting to take on. And I think like practicing gratitude has been a resounding message as well through all the piles, but with yours in particular, pile 3, I feel like we do our best to try, but at the same point, really, I feel like this is your shadow being coming through to tell you like you have so much around you and coming for you that to which you will feel a lot of gratitude for, especially the friendships that you have in your life that are always just there. And though you may not want to lean on them for support or, you know, to trauma dump or feel any type of way, you have them in your life for a reason, and they've been there for a reason, you know? And so if they were to come to you, would you feel the same way? You know, would you tell them the same thing like, oh my gosh, you're such a burden? No, you wouldn't, you know? you would be there for them, and they are definitely there for you. So I feel like, you know, really seeing that and making time for the people who make time for you also is coming through. And I feel like there's this pile, you might hear me channel a million dreams like all the time for you guys, but seriously, I can't help it. It's like the theme song of the year, I swear. You have these ginormous dreams to which people might think you're crazy, and like those are not attainable. Like no normal person could possibly attain those dreams that you have, but like you have them for a reason, and you don't need to see things come to fruition in order to believe that it's possible for you. Rather, you just need to believe that it's happening and it's out in the universe and you're working towards those things. But it's time to reevaluate, where can I sacrifice something for something that's much more important to me, and things like that. What am I holding on to? What habits or daily routines am I holding on to that I really don't need to, you know, that are not serving you to your highest good? And seeing like there's all this work that you want to put into yourself, but at the same point, like, what are you doing it for if you're not actually doing it? You can be reading all the things and listening to all the things and agreeing with it, but then are you actually putting action to it? Are you actually pulling the trigger on things? Are you actually recognizing your power and your magic and your ability to step into that and shine? Because you are star pile 3. Yes, you are, and you're going to make it happen for you in whatever way you are trying to. It's just about you knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you're not broken, okay? And knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be and who you're meant to be. Don't let anyone make you feel less than. Don't ever feel like, you know, woe is me, like nothing is like everyone else can express, but I can't, you know, because I don't want to be that person. But like sometimes I feel like you just need to let go of that thought that you are a burden, or what other people are going to think if you talk about something or if you share something, you know. What does pile 3's inner shadow being want to tell them? The Tower. Does pile 3's inner shadow being want to tell them? The Knight of Swords reversed. The Five of Wands reversed. Does pile 3's inner shadow being want to tell them? Strength reversed. In the back of your deck, we have the Seven of Cups. Pile 3. I definitely feel like you've had so many moments of Tower moments that were negative, you know, like rocked your world, broke you to the core, and made you feel like, what am I doing wrong to deserve this? Clearly I did something. Clearly something's not right with me, and that's why this is happening, or why this person did that to me. When really it's about you having more love for yourself and seeing that these Tower moments were there to show you how strong you are and how resilient you are and how magical you are, because you fucking are a pile 3. I feel like your shadow being wants to tell you that something great is happening and going to be the catalyst to the new chapter that you have been manifesting into your life. And really you taking that inspired action rather than trying to look for clues or look for, you know, the signs and things like that as to what's happening, but just trusting and going forward, taking that inspired action in your life and doing the things. Don't rush it, but just start taking action, taking that first step, you know, letting go of this inner conflict that you might hold on to, that you are rotten inside, or that there's something innately wrong with you, when absolutely there is nothing wrong with you. You are worthy of love and you are not broken. Like I said, things came to break you, yes, but guess what? You are that strong. You're fucking so strong. It's crazy. You have so much inner strength and so much compassion for other people. It's time for you to have it for yourself and see that in face of an adversity, you are able to move forward in such a graceful way. And though you might not feel like it, you are. You might feel like you passed on so many opportunities or you dropped the ball on them, but really your shadow being is saying there's one opportunity coming for you. That is the one that you've been waiting for and manifesting into your life. No more sleepless nights and feeling like this isn't happening. Trust in your abilities and your intuition to be able to make the right decisions, because you're healing. You are healing and moving forward, pile 3. Definitely, I feel like you're going to have the ability to be generous and have someone be very generous with you. And it's time for you to let go of the things that went wrong and really allow yourself to heal and manifest what's coming for you, you know? And trust that you are magical and you are a badass. I keep saying that because I feel like you need to hear it. And like you need to start believing in that, believing in you, believing where you're going and what you can achieve. And yeah, pile 3, I feel like there's something that you have been wanting to get to that you just haven't been able to, or you felt like you haven't been able to. And I feel like there's some sort of opportunity coming your way in which things are going to be shown your way. Let me just, yeah, King of Coins. Wow. And just being able to achieve that stability that you've been looking for. You know, maybe you weren't able to get it before and you have all this stress about like, well, when is it going to pop off for me? Because I feel like it's just feels like it's not, you know, it's like almost but not. Can you clarify, please? Yeah, I'm going to take that as a cross. One more. Can you please clarify what pile 3's inner shadow being wants to say to them? The Magician. And the Chariot. Exactly, pile 3. So this Tower moment is not a negative one, though it might feel like it for some of you. I feel like this is just a catalyst to bring you into the new chapter, like I said, the new era of your life in which you're stepping into your power and really recognizing that you have divine wisdom within you, and there are things that you have access to in order to help you feel more prepared for what's to come, or where you want to go in order to achieve the stability and abundance that you've been manifesting into your life. And know that you have the power within you. You are badass. I keep telling you, you need to trust and believe that. Wake up every day and say, I am a fucking badass and I get what I deserve. I don't chase, I attract. You just have to keep saying those affirmations. I highly recommend Hot High Priestess, by the way. She's fucking amazing. I will drop her information down below. But I feel like you guys are definitely having to kind of shift how you look at yourselves and see just how magical and deserving you are, how worthy you are, and how loved you are. And you're going to achieve the success that you're looking for. You know, you're just kind of, some of you are either too afraid to take that leap, and others of you are just kind of feeling like stewing in the, I guess, like the end of your chapter and trying to wrap it up in order for you to feel the next, you know. And definitely look, you're a fucking star. What did I say? What did I say, pile 3? Okay, I'm going to leave it at that because that's absolutely amazing. And please don't forget to check out Spiritualistic's messages for you on her channel from your light being. And you guys are amazing. I mean, seriously. If you guys enjoyed the reading and it resonated, please go ahead and smash the like button and comment down below a dragon emoji so I know you're from pile 3. And let me know how this resonated for you. I love talking story with you in the comment section. And yeah, I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the little bell notification so you don't miss a beat. I'll also be dropping my Patreon link down below in case you're interested in joining our magical family there, where we have exclusive content and weekly energy readings not available here on YouTube. So thank you guys. I love you. Have a magical day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.